Hello, everyone, and welcome to the now 10th instalment of Cannon Chat. Delighted this evening to be talking about an Arsenal victory. It feels like a very rare one. We certainly haven't had one in a while since that opening day victory against Leicester. 4-3, the final score being in that game. But a really comfortable victory for the Gunners yesterday, and I'm delighted to be joined by James, as per usual, this evening. How are you, mate?
Yeah, nice to finally speak on happier terms, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, given how we were after that game the other week, it was depressing, to be honest, and it was good to be a bit more perked up following yesterday's win. Really good resounding performance from Arsenal. A 3-0 win wasn't a scrappy sort of victory that I was kind of hoping we might see in this game against a good, resolute Bournemouth team. Um, I'm really pleased with how we performed. It was the kind of performance that I expected to see from Arsenal. I wanted to see rather than expected. What did you make of the game from start to finish?
Yeah, I was very, very happy. And it's amazing, isn't it, when you play your new signings that you've put in to improve the squad, what they actually do. And when you put people in the right place. I mean, all right, Monreal at centre-back, bit ropey. But to be fair to Bournemouth, give them credit where credit's due. For me, they only really had that one real chance, and that was Defoe's header, which, I think Sheck got down a bit too low, and it thankfully hit the post, didn't it? So, but other than that, I didn't really think Bournemouth created that much.
No, I mean, as good as we were, and I did think we were exceptional, Bournemouth offered nothing. They were very, very timid in this game, didn't bring a lot to the table. I was disappointed with them in a way because following that emphatic 3-3 draw we had there last season, I was expecting a lot more from them. And they don't particularly seem to have gotten off to a good start this season. But saying that, they did only secure 1 point from these opening four fixtures last season, and that 1 point was, surprise, surprise, against us. So let's look at the team lineup. It was a good, strong team that Arsene Wenger fielded. It's the first team in a while that I've agreed with. Players in their right positions, as you say. Kolasinac playing in that left wing-back role, Bellerin right wing-back. Jack and Ramsey, much improved performance in midfield. But that back three, something I particularly want to talk about. Mustafi coming back into the sides, along with Laurent Koscielny and Nacho Monreal. I think that could well be our strongest back three this season. It's certainly on paper, for me, is probably our strongest back line. Would you be inclined to agree with that, or would you maybe look to bring in a Rob Holding, a Per Mertesacker?
Most people know that I love Mertesacker, I love Monreal, and I do love Holding. But for me, I think Monreal now, at the age that he is, and I still think he's got performances in him. Obviously, we saw, towards the latter end of last season when he was playing, he's got the goal in the FA Cup and everything else like that. But I feel that maybe now he should be the second, string left wing back, left back, whatever you want to call it, to Kolasinac. And then obviously I'd keep Holding in. I feel Holding to be withdrawn from the squad altogether is a bit of a mystery to me. I mean, obviously, all right, his performances haven't been up to notch that they were at the tail end of last season, but he's young and he's learning. And, I still think it's just completely unjust to throw him away completely.
Do you not think, you mentioned Monreal's age there, with him coming up to, his early 30s now, do you not think that maybe that left centre-back role is perfectly suited to him because he doesn't have to do as much running as he would as a fullback? Don't get me wrong, he's still got to do a lot dispersing the play, but where he's got Kolasinac in front of him, those two could look to build some sort of an exciting partnership there. So maybe that could be a good role for Nacho Monreal playing as that left centre-back for the long term.
Yeah, I can see wholeheartedly where you're coming from there as well. And also, he's again, it's like we've said all the time, we lack that leadership and we lack, sort of elder statesman type of players. Obviously, with Mertesacker on the bench, and we all saw when Danny Welbeck tucked his goals in, Mertesacker jumped up before Wenger did and was going, "Rah!" He was giving it that before even Wenger really done it. So you can see what influence he sort of has. And they're mates anyway from being in the treatment room and everything else like that, which we've talked about previously for ages. But yeah, I think, from that aspect, I think you're spot on with Monreal. I just, for me, sort of feel that with Rob Holding and the progression that he's currently going through and everything else like that, I really want to see him play a lot more. And obviously we got Europa League midweek, so that's probably when he's going to come back in. And you got Chambers as well. A lot of people seem to just have Chambers is sort of an afterthought, which for me, I think he might get an appearance midweek. And it wouldn't surprise me, with Coquelin, obviously we might talk about that a bit later on with his injury, if Wenger experiments with Chambers again in that CDM role.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that, but where we've got this new formation, we don't really seem to play with much of a technical CDM. Not that
No.
Coughlin's the most technically gifted player, but I think James is definitely he's a player that I really admire, and I think given I would regard his spell at Borough as a success. You know, he was part of a
Yeah.
very sturdy Borough defence, despite them being relegated. He had some very good performances, both at right back and at centre back. I think that right centre back spot for him is so perfect, and I think with maybe Mustafi and Koscielny, more experienced heads alongside him, I think that he's got a very good, you know, opportunity in this team. And with Mertesacker as well, these kind of players around him, I can't forget that performance Chambers had alongside Per Mertesacker in that game against Leicester City when we beat them 2-1, which could have been a title-defining game. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I think he's still got a lot to offer this Arsenal defence. And I do worry a little bit when I look at that lineup. I do feel that we're a bit threadbare. I look at that left centre back role, and I think that if Monreal wasn't there, I mean, you mentioned Rob Holding, you mentioned Chambers, those kind of players can fill in, but they're not right footers. So maybe that's a bit of a concern there. And the left back as well, left wing back. Only Kolasinac and Monreal, and then on the right hand side, it's only Bellerin. So I worry about those wide positions
Yeah.
with this system. If we were to go to a 4-2-3-1, arguably it would still be a problem, especially at right back. We've only got Debussy underneath Bellerin, but at least then we'd have the opportunity to play someone like Walcott or Nelson a little bit higher up. Do you worry that maybe, you know, given the transfer window has now concluded, we are a little bit lightweight still?
Well, we're probably just going to get Sangye on a free, aren't we? We're probably just going to. He's apparently he's already training with us. He's already there. So I can see Wenger looking at that and going, well, you know what, he's 33, give him a year, and then we'll, you know, it saves me trying to get one in January, and then maybe next summer, if we do sell Bellerin, you know, there's a lot of rumours and innuendo about him still, isn't there? Apparently, he was one of the main ones that was also very, very unhappy of the way the club is and the way things are going, and he might seek pastures new.
Well, that's interesting, mate. Let's talk about that because Bellerin supposedly wanted to leave, Mustafi wanted to leave, Alexis we know wanted to leave. I mean, Oxlade-Chamberlain wanted to leave and has left. I mean, you look at these players that are unhappy in the team. Bellerin and Mustafi started the game yesterday, and I'm sure there are quite a few other unsettled players in that team that aren't particularly happy with the way things have been going. Do you think that that kind of echoed into the performance against Bournemouth? Because I know against Liverpool it certainly did, but yesterday, very professional, very calm performance from Arsenal, especially those players that have been talked about a lot in the media.
Yeah, I couldn't whinge about any of them really. I thought they all played very well. I mean, for me, Bellerin, he was a bit late on the ankle of that challenge on Frazier, which was a bit suspect. But he got, you know, I don't even think he got a booking there, so he was all right. But other than that, I thought he was brilliant going forward. Like I said earlier, Bournemouth didn't really add anything, so I couldn't really judge him on his defending. But you know, obviously the work on the crossing's got to get better. I've said that. You know, you look at Kolasinac on the other side, his crossings levels above what Bellerin's is.
It makes you wonder in that game against Liverpool, and I hate to keep going back to it, but you can't help but ponder why didn't Arsene Wenger play these players in their right positions? Because we look like such a better team, even with Lacazette starting up top. Danny Welbeck looks a lot better coming in off the left as well. Bellerin, Kolasinac in the fullback roles. I mean, both absolutely brilliant. You can't help but feel if we'd have played that team at Anfield, we'd have at least stood a chance. There's a lot more chemistry, a lot more enthusiasm within that lineup. I won't ask you why Arsene Wenger didn't play that team at Anfield because surely you're not going to have the answer. But I mean, let's hone in on the performance of Kolasinac because that assist for the first goal, brilliant, and he could have had a couple more the other day because the way he just bombs down, takes it past a couple of men, his link-up play is brilliant. He's a boulder. He just runs into guys and they just can't stop him. And his delivery as well is perfect. The way he dinks that ball into the box. I mean, he did the exact same in midweek for Bosnia. A really exciting player to have in the team. And you've got to be looking at him as being one of, I hope, the best fullbacks in the world.
Yeah. I wouldn't say in the world right now currently, but he's surely got the potential to be. And what I like about him a lot as well is it's the variation. You know, normally you get wide players, and you get a lot of them that are really good at doing the, you know, like the what I call the Beckham style high curling cross, and they never really play the low ball. And you know, I think the low ball's really underestimated. I mean, you look at Man City. Someone put a compilation up on Twitter today where they play that low ball across the box. Someone tucks it in, you know, like people call it the classic Giroud, you know, that old near post, slide it along, and he varies it up. It's really cool. I really like watching him do it, like, because when he's running through, you're like, right, okay, he's gonna ping this cross in. What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be the high one? Is it gonna be the low? And he delivers them both to a canter. You know, they're absolutely beautiful passes or crosses, whatever whatever way you want to judge it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, mate. Absolutely brilliant asset to the team, and I hope that he remains a fixture in the side for the rest of this season, because I'm always confident we're going to score with him in the team. Normally, I'd be saying that about someone like Lacazette, but the way he gets forward, the way he's got all those defensive attributes as well, I think he's such a man-mounted, such a great player to have in the team, and an authority figure as well. So all the best to him, and I hope that he, as I say, remains a part of this team for the long term. Still young as well, 24 years old. I mean, I don't want to keep banging on about him, but I honestly love the guy. I'm really excited to have him in this team, and his link up with the likes of Welbeck, Lacazette, even Alexis, when those two start playing together. I'm excited. I really am excited by him. But I mean, let's talk a little bit about the midfield performance. Ramsey and Xhaka, lot more assertive in the midfield. As you say, they weren't particularly tested. The whole team wasn't really tested. You didn't really get to see Bournemouth press them as such. But they looked good. They linked up well. Xhaka had a very assured game. Ramsey played very well, I thought. Do you think that maybe that's the... I mean, given that we chatted about it last time, I think I know that your personal opinion is that is the long-term midfield. But do you think that maybe it is still prone to being undone in the way that it was against Liverpool? I mean, there were a few 50-50 times when Bournemouth did play it through them, and it was a bit too easy.
Yeah, like I've said time and time again, mate, that's the best we've got at the moment. And yesterday, you know, you saw it going forward there. You know, Xhaka, we all know what he can do, pinging that ball across. He had a few shots. Ramsey second half had a nice chance. He was scuppered. They're tidy footballers, mate. On their day, they're tidy footballers. But the real test comes, you know, next Sunday, doesn't it? Them two are surely going to play together next week. I can't see who else is going to be picked ahead of them in that central positions next week. And if they have another one where they just completely switch off, or they just completely look null and void against the big team like Chelsea, then obviously, you know, we're going to come back here, aren't we? And everyone else is going to be back on them. So that game is so pivotal, mate. Like, they've really... You know, a lot of people said that this was more, you know, this Arsenal squad that went out there Saturday wanted to give a performance and wanted to be, you know, real, you know, wake up and show these fans, like, you know, we do want to perform for Wenger. We do want to perform for you. And I'm like, you're right. Yeah, that's all well and good. I was happy. 3 points, 3 brilliant goals, whatever way you want to look at all 3 of them. And, you know, it was Bournemouth. You know, let's not get carried away. It was Bournemouth. And the real test is next week. And I mean, it's the day before my birthday as well. So if they F this up, I'm going to be furious because it'll ruin my birthday. If you said to me right now, James, I can guarantee you a point. I'll bite your hand off, mate. I'll bite your hand off for a point.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see a performance going into that game. I mean, that's where the real test lies, as you say. I mean, we've beaten Bournemouth by 3-0, but that will count for absolutely nothing if we don't go to Chelsea and at least put in a performance. Fair enough if I'm sincerely hoping we don't lose that game, but if we put in a performance that we can hold our heads up high about, then fair enough. But I just want to see us perform on the day, and I mean, that's the very bare minimum we should be asking. If we played a team that played against Bournemouth, maybe bring Alexis back in for someone like Danny Welbeck, then I think we've got a strong chance. But a good case to be made for Danny Welbeck, who scored 2 goals yesterday. First one was a little bit dubious, coming off what appeared to be his shoulder. But they all count. Right place, right time. And that second goal he scored, Begovic could have done a little bit better, but a great finish nonetheless. And he got an assist as well for Lacazette's goal. So really good performance from Danny Welbeck. 3 goals in 4 Premier League games. Really starting to flourish now, James. How are you feeling about Danny Welbeck this season?
Better than I did. You know, I was one of them that was writing him off after Liverpool, like, oh, I'll get him away. I can't stand him anymore. You know, it's typical football fan. You know, oh, I hate him, can't stand him. Oh, he's an idiot. And then he scores 2 goals. Oh, he's brilliant. And you know, for me, it's a bit like, you know, I won't compare them before anybody jumps down my throat in your comments box and everything else like that. But Harry Kane didn't score, went away on international duty, got it, comes back, netches 2. Danny Welbeck goes away, he scores a scrappy goal in the international duty, by God. But, you know, he's back with a bang at the weekend, isn't he? You can't moan about it. And that second goal, I'll give credit, the weight of the pass from Ramsey. You know, I didn't really touch on it in the previous bit when you asked. Beautiful weight of the pass from Aaron Ramsey. Absolutely lovely ball. But people shouldn't underestimate that finish. That's for someone who's finishing and gets slagged off the way Danny went. That was
on his weak foot too.
Exactly. It's a really, really good goal. I mean, Sky do their goal of the 5 Premier League goals of the day, and I was shocked that weren't in there.
What were the 5?
I know that Lacazette's was in there. Sane's was in there. The Kane cross shot was in there. Oh, I'm trying to remember the other 2.
Well, don't worry, James. We'll come back to that at the end if you can remember.
Yeah, it was one of them things when you scroll through your Facebook feed. And then you're like, I can't remember them. But no, I would have put Welbs in there. Not from a bias standpoint, but I thought that was a really tidy finish.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw him play in a central role against Liverpool, and that's where he got a lot of his criticism. And for me, as much as I love Danny Welbeck, I don't want to see him playing as a striker. I think him linking up with Lacazette, those two seem to have a real understanding together, and I want to see them playing together a little bit more. Do you think that Welbeck's strongest position for Arsenal is coming in off the left?
Yes, yeah, I think as a wide player, he offers a lot more than he does playing centrally up front.
I suppose that role behind the striker now kind of suits him because it allows him to go into a more forward role, but as well drift out onto the left. So, I mean, it's a good free role for him. And, I mean, he hasn't really got a case to be dropped going into that game against Chelsea. Do you think that maybe it would be wise to bring Alexis back into the side?
Oh, this is so tough, mate, because for me, I think maybe looking at it, I think Wenger might go with Danny midweek and then obviously play Sanchez against Chelsea. So that's the way I look at it. But then I feel that it is sort of unfair for him to score 2 goals and then be dropped for the next league game. But it's tough, isn't it? It's really tough. I don't know what Wenger's going to do, really. For me, I sort of do think that with Chelsea, all right, you know, Alexis has done what he's done, and for me, he didn't really hand in a formal transfer request, but we all know deep down he really wanted to leave. But when he come on yesterday, I was questioning his commitment in the Gooner Ramble, the hangout that we did, and I thought he was brilliant when he come on yesterday. I thought he had a few chances. He was linking well. He was doing the bits that you know Alexis Sanchez does, and against a big team like Chelsea. I think you got to play the big players, haven't you? And Sanchez, whilst he's at Arsenal, still a big player.
Let me propose something to you, James. So we've got the Europa League on Thursday night. Alexis Sanchez certainly won't want to be playing in it, but we could offer him 60 minutes in this game, bring Danny Welbeck on for the last 30, and then going into that game against Chelsea, I mean, we've got 2 fresh, revitalised players there, given that Alexis is just coming back from a slight knock with Chile as well. It gives us the 2 options that we've got there, and maybe we could look to start with Welbeck against Chelsea. If things aren't going our way, then we've got the option of Alexis off the bench. 2 players that, well, Danny Welbeck is definitely thriving on confidence at the minute. Alexis, again, a player that, as you say, does what Alexis does best. Is that something that maybe you'd be inclined to do?
Like I said, it's so tough, mate, because obviously for me, you know, Lacazette's got to start against Chelsea. He's got to be in there. And then, I would pick Sanchez, but that's me. But again, at the same time, it's like I said, it feels unfair to drop Danny Welbeck, considering you know the game that he had at the weekend and everything else. It depends on what happens midweek, because I think midweek maybe Walcott might get a run out there. So that's one, you know, sort of winger sorted, and then it's who he goes with on the other side. You know, is it going to be? Is it going to be Maitland-Niles, or is it going to be Welbeck, or is it going to be Sanchez?
Or Iwobi?
Yeah, exactly, or Iwobi. There's so many, you know, that could go out there.
Even Nelson's in with a shout for that Europa League game.
Yeah, mate. I think maybe Nelson, he might stick him in centrally somewhere next to maybe Wilshere or someone like that, or he might play him at a cam. I don't know.
Nonetheless, I'm excited for that game on Thursday. I mean, we'll talk about that in a little bit, but I just want to briefly talk about the performance of Alexandre Lacazette. His only 3rd start for Arsenal. Started against Leicester, started against Stoke, and started in this game. Really good performance from him, really astute, really good link-up play, really dominant, good tracking back, held the ball up really well on several occasions, and that finish for the goal, absolute rocket. 2 goals in 4 games for him now. 2 goals in 3 starts, in fact. How are you feeling about Lacazette, and what do you think he can offer to this Arsenal side?
Well, theoretically, he scored in every game he started in, mate. Let's be fair. that goal got disallowed. That was a goal. It's not. It's a cruel world, but yeah, that's what you pay your money for. This is a guy I've raved about since he was about 16, 17 years old. I've wanted Arsenal to sign. I think he's absolutely sensational. And for ages, how many times have we said, "Oh, we don't have that striker who gets that one chance a game, whatever, and just whack, there you go, eat that. How's your father?" And that was what we got yesterday. He's a sensational finisher, sensational striker, and he come with a bit of a rep. People were saying he was a lazy bastard. He didn't like tracking back. He didn't like doing this and everything. I thought he put a shift and a half in yesterday for the 60-odd minutes that he played. I thought he was, like you said, he was sensational. His link-up play is great. And he's developing little partnerships with players already. It looks good. It's a brilliant signing, I feel. And hopefully he keeps going and keeps scoring for us, because that's what we paid the money for.
Yeah, that finish as well. Something out of absolutely nothing. The way it just came to him, and he just took a few touches, took it around the defender, and then just bang. Quite far out as well. Not a finish to be underestimated. So, yeah, really pleased to have him starting for Arsenal, and I hope that he's bedded into the team now. I don't want to see any more excuses from Arsene Wenger not to be playing him. Olivier Giroud had a good chance to score as well when he came on. So, 2 very good options we've got there. I've said it right at the start of the season. Alexis as well could play in that striking role. So
I still want to see Giroud and Giroud and Lacazette play together. I want to see them in not as in a 4-4-2, but I want to see them two. Maybe Lacazette just behind and everything. I want to see that work. I want to see what it's like.
Maybe that could be something. Maybe for a couple of minutes in this game on Thursday.
Yeah, potentially.
So let's get on to that Europa League game. Our first game in the Europa League in God knows how long. Yeah, I'm weirdly looking forward to it. I'm getting myself psyched up enough for it. It's a good chance for Arsenal to experiment, bring in the likes of Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, and a certain Mr. Jack Wilshere. I was really disappointed that he wasn't named on the bench yesterday for the game, at least. But it does kind of suggest, in my mind at least, that he's going to be put into the starting 11 in this game on Thursday night. For you, Jack Wilshere, what could his role be at Arsenal this season, and would you be looking to start him on Thursday night?
I'd love him to start Thursday night. I want to see him play. He's a player that, for some reason, you still hold all the love for. The other day watching them England games, that midfield just looked dire, rubbish. And
Jake Livermore ahead of Jack Wilshere. Where's it all gone wrong?
I was like, come back, Jack. Come back. Be a baller for Arsenal that I know you can be. Don't get red carded. Keep the discipline in check and save England's midfield at the same time, because bloody hell, they need it. I was bored. I was bored, James. I was bored.
Well, I mean, I'm always bored watching England, mate. That's how it's been for, well, I can't remember. We won't get into that. Different discussion entirely. But let's just be honest. England are boring to watch. World Cup next year, absolutely buzzing. So where would you see Jack Wilshere kind of fitting into this side? And for the game on Thursday night, who would your ideal midfield partner be for him?
It's tough, isn't it? Because, for me, with Coquelin getting injured, I thought it'd be them two. I would
like to see that. I mean, that's a midfield that won the FA Youth Cup. Yeah,
I thought that, it'd be Coquelin doing the old smash mouth, breaking up the play, etc., and then laying it off to Jack, and then Jack doing his, Xabi Alonso type stuff, which we all really want to see him do. But I don't know. Maybe I'm sort of thinking now, will it be Jack doing the smash mouth stuff and somebody else, doing that? Maybe it'll be Wilshere and El Neni. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it will be, and I think that's a sturdier, safe midfield. Maybe El Neni doing the mopping up, playing it safe into Jack, who can then bomb forward and play into the Walcotts, the Iwobis, whoever's in front of him. As you know, it's not just Jack Wilshere that we should be talking about in this game. Theo Walcott, a player that's barely been talked about this season, seems to be the forgotten man at Arsenal. A good opportunity for him, and fair play to him. I mean, he kicked up a fuss a couple of years ago, if you remember, when he was demanding like $100,000 a week, which seems like absolute pennies these days. Got his contract in the end, and given that he's going through a rough spell now, he said that he wants to play only on the right wing at the start of last season. not kicked up a fuss, and this is a good opportunity for him, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is what he needs to do. He needs to get in the Europa League and maybe the League Cup, and when the FA Cup starts, those sort of games as well. And then if he performs, obviously you get back in the league squad. I think that change in formation. He was 19, 20 goals last year, and then all of a sudden we switched to formation. It's like, yeah, see you later, mate. We ain't got a place for you now.
Yeah, it was that game against Palace as well.
Yeah, it's a bit of a.
I think that's what did for him.
Yeah, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a kick in the teeth. But you got to prove yourself when when you're not in there and you get your opportunities. For me, you get picked on merit, like we talked about with Danny Welbeck. I would pick Sanchez against Chelsea, like I said, but then if he picks Welbeck on merit, I'd back that. It's it's how you perform on the day. But again, in that Europa League game, maybe Wenger will do a madness and start him up front. You just don't know.
Good chance for Alex Iwobi in this game as well. I mean, since the back end of last season, I mean, he's barely had a shout in an Arsenal shirt. Had a really good pre-season, I thought. Scored some really brilliant goals. Looked very powerful. Looks to have bulked up a little bit. Do you think that he could be looking to start this game as well?
Yeah, I'd like to see him start as well. He comes across to me as a player that's is hungry, and he wants in. And I think he'll take.
Oh, mate, judging by his Snapchat with the amount of Nando's he's eating, he's certainly hungry.
Is he a big Nando's man? Is he?
Get him on Snapchat, mate, and you will see he's in there every single day.
Oh God. Well, as long as it's the lighter side of the menu, not the
pure protein, I hope.
Yeah. Well, you think so? You like to think so, but yeah, no, I'd like to see him play. I like Iwobi when I watch him, or that towards the latter end of last year, and like you said, the pre-season, he weren't too shabby, and I'd like to see him play. But then again, for me as well, maybe on the bench, I don't think he'll start him. I'd like to see this Eddie Nikita kid. I want to see what this Eddie Nikita can do.
Yeah, he looks good. Good opportunity as well, possibly for Joe Willock and the very fruitful, the very exciting Reece Nelson. Do you think he's got a chance to start this game?
I think he needs to, doesn't he? I mean, that
he's got to. The way he's banging them in at under 23 level.
He's the talk of the town, isn't he? I mean, that free kick the other night,
unreal. He's too good for that level.
It was absolutely beautiful. It was incredible, and he got the Premier League 2, whatever you want to call it, Player of the Month. He is the talk of the town. Maybe even a chance for, if you remember, Chuba Akpom in this game. I was thinking about him earlier, and the other day, funny enough, I actually Googled it to see if we loaned him out or anything. And I know he's still there, isn't he? Apparently, he got injured though, didn't he, during the pre-season or something? And he's
no, he played for the under-23s the other day. He's fully
really?
fit as far as I'm concerned.
Oh. Well, yeah, he's sort of a forgotten man, isn't he?
Well, I mean, it's amazing. You look at someone like Chuba Akpom and you look at someone like Reece Nelson. The way those two are developing. Akpom's considerably older than Nelson. It's quite weird to see that. Akpom, I mean, maybe he's not quite got the right attitude as someone like Nelson does, but for me, Nelson, the way he's played in pre-season, the way he's playing at youth level, I'm buzzing for him, and I sincerely hope that he gets a game, whether it be a wing-back where he played in pre-season, whether it be in the two behind the striker. I'm really excited, and maybe someone like Walcott can be a good, experienced player to work alongside someone like Nelson. So yeah, we'll see how that one pans out, and hopefully Nelson will get his chance in this game, whether it be from the start or off the bench. The defence is something that's troubling me for this game a little bit, because I can't see us starting Koscielny, Mustafi or Monreal in the back three. Yeah. I'm inclined to believe that it could be a back line of Holding, Mertesacker and Callum Chambers. Is that something that you'd be looking to field?
I can't sit here and say I know a lot about FC Köln, but if they had a fast striker, if they get that ball in behind, I'd be worried with that three. But Chambers and Holding, I'd like to see them play together, and then Mertesacker. I think Mertesacker deserves a run out here. It's a German team. There's going to be a lot of German fans there. He won the World Cup for them, didn't he? They'll probably be happy to see someone like him out there. And obviously he's the club captain, so you want your captain out there. I would put Mertesacker in, but yeah, that back three, if Köln have got someone of pace, and like I said, that ball gets slid in behind, I would panic.
The problem for me, James, is actually at left wing back because I don't want to play Kolasinac. I want to keep him fresh for that game against Chelsea. But then the only other alternative we've got at the minute is Nacho Monreal, who's obviously played against Bournemouth. You assume will play against Chelsea. And considering he's coming into his 30s now, maybe he doesn't have the legs for all these games. That's
Yeah.
where I think we're light in a sense, as I said earlier. What would you be looking to do for that left wing back role? If we do play back three, in fact, we could go to a back four for this game.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it, mate? Like you said, I want Kolasinac to be healthy and fully fit. So I'd probably play Monreal there. Sadly, I don't know if we've got a kid that's coming through at left back or left wing back that I might not know about.
De Silva is someone that was mentioned to me the other day. I don't know a
Yeah.
lot about him, but apparently he's been playing and performing at under 23 level, and he's someone that's worth a shout.
Well, if so, chuck him in. If so, chuck him in and let me see him. No, I'm more than happy for that. But
do you not think that? I mean, it's all well and good saying chuck these players in. It's a competition that I think we all agree we've got to take seriously this season.
Yeah.
We've got Doncaster Rovers. Is it the week after this one?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the game where you'd be looking to play, Keita, Willock, maybe even Nelson. But I think Nelson's got a great chance to start in this game. I mean, you've got to look at it on the face of things. You don't want to play too many first team players.
Yeah.
But it's just getting that balance right. And I think left wing back is certainly a role where maybe it'd be sensible to promote someone like De Silva for that game against Doncaster, just before throwing him into a really competitive Europa League game, just to see what they're about, see what they can offer. Saying that, can't take a lot from the League Cup. I remember Cole Jenkinson had an absolute blinder against Reading last season. that didn't pan out too well. But anyway, let's move on from that. I'm looking forward to that game against Cologne. I don't know a lot about them, but stern test for Arsenal. I think we'll agree. Let's not take them lightly. Let's go out there and get the win. But the real test is, of course, next Sunday, where we come up against familiar foes in Chelsea. Coming to their own now, Chelsea, 2-1 winning against Leicester. Don't really look as emphatic as they did last season just yet. I mean, they're getting results, but they're not kind of scoring as many as they were. Morata getting goals on the board as well. Still look a little bit threadbare without Diego Costa, perhaps, but a very strong side nonetheless, a team that we certainly can't underestimate. I don't think they're as defensively stable as they were last campaign, so maybe we've got a good chance to score at the Bridge. I want to see a positive result. I want to see a positive performance, and I think we've got to get a positive result, really, given how this season has started. It's not all doom and gloom. With 4 points off top of the minute, it doesn't really mean anything at this stage in the season, but it would be good to not fall too far behind the leaders. And Chelsea are a team that we will be, I would hope we're competing with this season, and getting a positive result, which I think would be a draw at the very minimum at the Bridge, would be a good result. How are you feeling going into that game?
Yeah, like I said earlier, big game, and we need a big performance. Like, for me, mate, it's just I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't want to be shown up again. I'm sick of going to these big teams, these rivals per se, and we just roll over and let them do what they want. For me, like I said earlier, Bournemouth didn't really threaten apart from that Defoe chance. Jordan Ibe come on and whip that cross in. That against a bigger team, and away with Morata at the moment, if Chelsea can feed in that cross and everything else, I would panic. I would panic with that. You've got to stop that sort of service at service. You can't be letting that sort of thing happen.
Does that worry you, maybe, because that obviously came from was it Bellerin's side of the pitch?
Yeah.
I mean, not being the most defensively stable this season has come under a lot of criticism. I'm not saying someone like Chamberlain could do a better job defensively, but what would you do to make sure those sort of crosses can't be allowed into the box?
You got to stop it at source, mate. You just got to try and read it before it happens. It's how you go into it. It's how Arsenal go into it, mate, with the game plan. If we set up like we did against Liverpool, I think Chelsea would turn us over. For me, I would sort of revert to a system where you sort of pack and contain Chelsea and then try and get something on the counter. But I think that's going to be really difficult. That's going to be really difficult, mate, because that's, do these Arsenal players, know how to do that? Can these Arsenal players stay disciplined like that? I mean, can we go periods without the ball for a long time and let sort of Chelsea have the ball and then do that sort of thing? And like we said earlier, I would rest Kolasinac because for me, I want to see Eden Hazard get bitched like he bitched our players last year. I want to see Kolasinac absolutely massacre Eden Hazard.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a beautiful, beautiful sight to say the very least. I mean, you mentioned there about these Arsenal players maybe not knowing how to counter-attack and soak up the pressure, but let's look at the blueprint for this kind of game. And that game against Manchester City, where we beat them 2-0, I think it was, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, I think that was, what, almost 3 years ago. I remember that like it was the other
Well,
day.
we're all wax lyrical about it still, because, you know, we completely abandoned what our core way is and went a different way, and we got the result. And ever since then, you know, I can't really.
We haven't done it since.
Yeah, I can't think of a game when we've done it since.
I think there have been times when we've tried to do it, but we've had the wrong players. So we've gone into games like that with the likes of Flamini, and it's just gone completely wrong.
I mean, Cazorla was pivotal that day, so maybe him being missing, you know, he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but
Ramsey could do that. Ramsey could.
Jack Wilshere could do that.
Exactly, mate. Yeah.
So maybe for this game against Chelsea, where we've got the three centre-backs, maybe it would be sensible to bring in an extra midfielder and go back to the back four. So have Mustafi and Koscielny as the centre-backs, Bellerin and Kolasinac as the full-backs, then have a midfield trio of Xhaka, Ramsey, Wilshere, and beyond them, maybe Lacazette, Danny Welbeck and Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exciting. I mean, that way you get to accommodate Alexis and Danny Welbeck at the same time.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It seems like the fairest way to do it, mate, now. Like I said, performance on merit.
Can you see that happening now? I mean, Wenger seems incredibly adamant that this back three is the system going forward now. And I mean, I'm all for Arsenal sticking to a system, sticking to a game plan. But at the same time, the problem with Arsene Wenger and the problem with Arsenal over the past 5-10 years has been that we are not an adaptable team. We did it once against Manchester City, but for this game against Chelsea, I would like to see a different game plan, a strategy that's been implemented during the week. Show that we've done our research on Chelsea, pack that midfield, don't let them have an inch. They've got some very good players in Bakayoko and N'Golo Kante. The midfield battle is going to be pivotal. And I worry that we will get overrun with Xhaka and Ramsey, and I don't think they've got the capabilities, the technical strength to beat those kind of men in the midfield. So I'm worried in that sense, and I hope that Arsene Wenger gets it right. How are you feeling about the lineup for that game?
Yeah, it's exactly the same as what you said, mate. It's for me, it's the whole, you know, it's stick or twist. It's really is. It's a big gamble, and if it goes wrong, then, you know, the hostility's all going to come back again. You know, it's still there. Don't get me wrong, the hostility's all still there, but it's a lot calmer now after yesterday. But it will just bubble up again, and it'll be, you know, if it's like I said, mate, if we get embarrassed, if we get proper thumped again, then I don't think Arsene Wenger's gonna have a leg to stand on.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it, JJ? It could be another chapter in the Arsenal merry-go-round. If we do get thumped at the Stamford Bridge. In all seriousness, I mean, we're all really pleased about how the result went yesterday, the performance from Arsenal. With all due respect to Bournemouth, they brought nothing to the table. It was very comfortable for us in the end. But as I said earlier, it doesn't count for anything if we go to Chelsea and just get absolutely turned over. It's those games that matter. And if Liverpool is anything to go by, then there's no reason to be confident going into this game. We have no right to be at all confident, but it all hinges on the manager. It all hinges on Arsene Wenger's decision making. Got to be playing the right players in the right positions, but it's going to be ugly amongst fans if we lose this game in the manner that we did against Liverpool.
I don't mind us playing ugly though and stealing a point. Like I've said, if you can guarantee me right now, sat here, a point against Chelsea, I'll take it, mate. I'll take it.
Yeah, and a point on the face of things would be a decent result. You look at the games that we've got coming up after that, very winnable fixtures. So, you know, if we were to win those games, we could find ourselves in a very comfortable position, you know, at the end of October, perhaps. So, Chelsea's going to be the stern test, but let's get Cologne out of the way first and foremost. JJ, final words. Let's get your score prediction for that game.
What, the Cologne game?
Cologne game. Yeah, we won't talk about Chelsea predictions.
Yeah, no, it's too early. I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
Nice, clean result there. I'll go 3-0 Arsenal.
I can't tell you the scorers, mate, because I won't. I don't know who's going to be playing. I can't.
3-0, Jack Wilshere hat-trick.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll tell you, that's coming now. Anyway, wonderful chat to you tonight, mate. Where can people find you on Twitter?
LL Cool James 91, mate. Also, got my YouTube channel as well. I'm on 47 subscribers. I've said when I get to 50, There's a prize coming. It might not be what you want, but, you know, I'll get you something. Might even just be a Kinder Bueno, something like that, something basic, but who don't love a Kinder Bueno?
What's your channel name, mate?
It is James Johnston Football. So it's literally my name and then football.
Brilliant. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below.
You're a legend. Thank you.
No worries at all, mate. Please do make sure to check out James on the socials. Brilliant guy to have on the pods. And we'll be chatting to you again very briefly on Thursday night following Arsenal's, fingers crossed, victory against Cologne. Jack Wilshere hat-trick. Have a tenner on it. It's coming in. Anyway, thanks for watching us this evening. Talk about Arsenal in a more exciting manner. Certainly good to see 3 points on the board. A good performance. Let's take that into Thursday and then again into next Sunday, which should be an interesting one against Chelsea. Anyway, guys, please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Leave your comments in the comment box below. Thanks for watching as always, and we'll be speaking to you very, very soon. See you later.